Welcome to Chakras&Cusswords, a podcast that dives into self-improvement, completing goals, and overcoming modern-day obstacles. I am your host, Catherine, and together we will address our fears, establish self-awareness, and complete self-growth through honesty and reflection. Remember to please like and share this podcast. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Chakras&Cusswords. This podcast has been brought to you by Anchor. Anchor has sponsored, distributed, and helped me create a good podcast to you. So if you have been thinking about making your own podcast, I suggest you use Anchor. It's easy to use and it's free. So go ahead, create your podcast, and I can't wait to hear it. Thank you for listening. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chakras&Cusswords, and welcome to this replay. If you are listening to the replay, I am so happy you're here, and welcome. So for those who don't know me, I'm going to do a brief introduction. My name is Catherine. I am the podcast host of Chakras&Cusswords. I concentrate on everything astrology, tarot, and the energy alignment, especially through the chakra system. I'm really excited to have this room. This room is a pretty cool topic. This room is all about Capricorn season. I am doing a recording for the podcast, so I won't be answering too many questions or bringing too many people up on stage. If you do have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat and I will go through it. Also, what is your guys' zodiacs? I will go through each 12 zodiac horoscope for the Capricorn season. Capricorn season currently starts tomorrow. So goodbye to the Sagittarius season, right? I'm ready to start Capricorn season. Capricorn season is an amazing season, and I'm ready to kind of get into some of the astrology that will be taking place in 2023. Make sure you guys share out this room. That podcast is coming out on Monday. For anybody who wants to know about some of the amazing astrology transits for the season. But let's talk about the Capricorn, right? Like, the Capricorn is such an amazing zodiac. The Capricorn is centered off of the 10th house. So that is an energy that's really focused on commitment, success, discipline, that area space that really kind of creates that feature of like what is next and the achievements that somebody can have, right? And the achievements that you can gain. And a lot of time when we think about Capricorn, it is a cardinal sign. It's the entry sign of winter. It's the starting day of winter solstice. So for those who don't know, winter solstice is actually happening the same day as the sun enters Capricorn. So that's an area where you give homage to making it through the winter back in the older days, right? Back when we didn't have so much technology, we didn't have heat readily at our fingertips where we could just flick on a switch and we would have warmth. Getting through winter was actually a big challenge, like not getting sick, not getting so sick that you would pass away, right? So praising that homage of the earth element, and how can we use this energy to make it through winter? How can we survive? How can we achieve to get to spring and summer? So making that acknowledgement of what winter solstice really means and bringing that energy forward to become the achiever, to become the success, right? To become the success of getting through another season is a huge accomplishment. And that is basically what the cardinal sign of Capricorn really represents in the winter solstice area, of having that area kind of come forward into the next step. Like I said, it's a cardinal sign, which is the season starter of winter. It's an earth element. And when we think about the earth elements, we really want to think of that area of the root chakra. So there's a lot of stability and there's a lot of foundation with the Capricorn. There's also that area that a lot of times people think the Capricorn's so very hardworking, right? You kind of always hear those jokes like the Capricorn's always working, right? Capricorns are CEOs, like Capricorns are very successful, which they are. But Capricorns tend to have that area where they do this kind of balance, kind of like almost like a Libra. They do this balance where they're able to arrange their life path into a way that it works for them. The Capricorn can almost get a little bit overworked. And that's usually because they take on so much responsibility. And a lot of that has to do by their ruler. They are ruled by Saturn. Saturn is one of the most amazing planets when it comes to areas of responsibility, to discipline. There's old wise tales of how Saturn is almost like referred to Satan, right? If you get into like Christian astrology versus Western astrology, there's that dynamic that Saturn will like take stuff away, right? Saturn will restrict you. Freedom doesn't come so easy when Saturn's around. And Saturn kind of has that area of a lot of energy where what you put out is kind of like what you get. And the Capricorn understands that if I put out this work, if I put out this discipline, if I put out this energy, I will receive this energy back. I will receive the accomplishments. I will receive areas if I work into my own responsibility. And Saturn is the planet where there's a lot of karmic energy involved. And a lot of times when we think about the Capricorn's goals are usually centered around achievements and success, and they really work for it, and they put that karmic energy out. A lot of people say like don't piss off a Capricorn, right? Because, they're very sweet and noble. They look very sweet and noble on the outside, but they have this inner karmic energy where it's almost like they can curse you with their words, right? They have that stable foundation where they understand of the karma. They understand of what it is that they receive in the universe and what it is that they put out in the universe. So like a Capricorn might be somebody you don't want to like piss off, right? Because their karmic energy is always kind of like around them, right? It's that energy where they understand what they put out is also the same thing they receive. So if they put out too much of maybe, talking a little trash or not really liking somebody, or if they're angry, you can feel that presence with the Capricorn. Also with the Capricorn, it is a yin base element. So it is actually a feminine energy source, which is a space where it does have that nourishing factor. It does have that caring factor. It might not seem as abrupt as possibly some of the other zodiacs. Like for instance, maybe like the Scorpio might feel a little bit more emotional, right? Or the Scorpio is also a water element, but maybe like a Leo. A Leo feels very much centered in their own element. Like a Leo has that confidence where maybe the Capricorn doesn't really resemble that full dominant factor. It kind of can soften up a bit, right? Can soften up where the Leo might feel a little bit more bold. Also, let's get into these zodiacs. I just want to thank everybody who popped in. If you would like, please share out this room, ping some of your friends, and drop your zodiac in the comment section. So for the Capricorn, and let's see what Capricorns make the news, right? I always say when it's your sun energy, when it's your solar return, as one might say, for the next month, right? For the next month area when you are in your season that you sometimes have the most strongest energy, right? We see it with Britney Spears right now. Where's the Britney Spears, where's Britney movement? Sun in Sagittarius, right? We saw it with the Geminis. We see it with the Scorpios, right? It happens usually when that sun element really takes place. We'll kind of feel that energy fully aligned, right? So for the Capricorn, this is a perfect time for you to step into some new beginnings. This is also, and for people who don't create resolutions, like I totally get it. I always say like my New Year's resolution is to create a resolution for next year. I think my New Year's resolution for this year is actually to work on a vision board. I've done vision boards before. And really for the Capricorn, this is like kind of like that energy you need to pick up. You want to be in your approach of what you want your attitude to be for the next year of 2023. Like really have that area where you know exactly where you want to be in 2023. You have a little bit of a plan because in all honesty, Capricorns work better with a plan. They work better with that strategy. They work better with that approach to life. That's just the way the Capricorn is. And they are centered around goals and they're centered around that area of finding something that works for them. And in all honesty, making goals and creating the goals and checking them off is something that the Capricorn does quite well, that not many zodiacs can do. And the fact that the Capricorn is in this area of the one house, right, in the first house, that it's time for you to really take that approach and kind of do a shift in the attitude. And it's hard to be optimistic all the time, right? But take your responsibilities full on. Take that space where you really know what it is that you want for 2023. For the Sagittarius, and I'm going to be honest, for Sag, for the Sag, the Sag is going to be hit with a Mercury retrograde. Not right away, but more towards the end of the year of 2023. But also for the Sagittarius, as we're doing the introduction of the new year, this is a perfect time for you to look at your finances and also look at your material possessions, your work ethic. Also, you're going to want to look at areas that you could possibly make a shift or also create a savings account. I want you to look at spaces that you can make a you can monetize from. Also for the Sagittarius, if you have kind of been down on your luck with money, this is a perfect time for you to start to look at getting some money, if that's possibly getting a job, if that's possibly starting your own business, maybe coming in close contact with a good investment. Be open to the situation, have that area of growth, because in all honesty, this is a perfect time for you to make the next move. For the Scorpio, it's time for you to open up your communication. For the Scorpio, you've been really centered on how you're feeling for the year, right? How you've been feeling. You've done a lot of energy healing. You've really done that releasing. You had a good shadow state. The eclipse season didn't fuck up the Scorpios too bad, right? Like it was a good time for you to really let go of some of that energy that wasn't serving you. And for the Scorpio, in all honesty, this is a perfect time for you to actually take in the communication from other people. I feel like you've been expressing how you feel, but you haven't really been acknowledging how the other people feel. You're not really acknowledging how the areas of the family feel, how the areas of maybe your lover feels, or how it's all centered around you. We're just seeing a lot of excessive communication on your feelings, but it's time for you to let that communication of the throat chakra only receive as well as express. For the Libra, and for those who follow me on my podcast and my Instagram, you guys already know that I'm thinking some Libra placements are definitely getting a ring in 2023. They're maybe not, the commitment, or maybe not the full contract, right? As one might say, marriage is just a binding contract, right? But they're definitely getting that area where they are getting that relationship to the next level. And also, this is a perfect time for you to look at the foundations of the home life and the root chakra for the Libra. Also, for the Libra, this is a beautiful time for you to actually think about if you are taking it to the next level of possibly having an area where you join in a commitment. Possibly moving in together. Like, I know that sounds a little tricky, especially if you're taking the relationship to the next level, but before you actually get so stuck in an area space that you aren't sure about, move in together. Get a little bit of commitment and foundation behind you. Also, for the Libra, if you are thinking about expanding the family, maybe you're thinking about having some children, or you're already in a relationship where it's that time, or maybe you're just, ready. You're in the relationship and now you guys are ready to have some kids. This is the perfect time to start. For the Virgo, it's time for you to actually, I want you to clear away from the drama. I feel like there's been a lot of drama, interpersonal drama, external drama. And it's also a time that you're going to get back into that childlike and having fun. And for the Virgo, there's probably been just so much drama with just people around you that's starting to kind of have this weight on you, right? And it feels real heavy. For the Virgo, really just clear away the drama, clear away the people you aren't feeling connected with. It's fine to say, like, we're just not meshing, or I have to maybe create a different alliances with my friend groups. But in all honesty, for you to really experience the areas of romance and love and that joyfulness, you got to get rid of the drama. You got to get rid of it. For the Leo, I feel like the Leos have kind of been like in this slump lately. And it could just be because there hasn't been that much energy. There's not that much astrological alignments right now. When we don't have a lot of high planetary alignments, sometimes we kind of feel a little slumpish, right? We feel like, okay, what's going on? I'm not really sure here. But right now, this is a good time for you to start to make some new daily habits. Like if it's around healthy living, if it's around fitness, it's around maybe getting a little bit more organized or clearing out some clutter, but do something that really sets you in the pace of where you want to be in 2023, right? Maybe you don't have so much junk in your junk drawer, like physically or personally. It's time to clear away some of those old habits that aren't serving you. Maybe you want to pick up some new, like routines into your daily. And that is one of the things that sometimes feels the hardest, is picking up routines or picking up new rituals. But in all honesty, just doing a little each day really makes a difference. Like I always said, I wanted to meditate like almost every day, right? I can't meditate every day. That's a little bit unrealistic, but I do make sure to at least incorporate it twice a week, right? At least twice a week. Meditation, it takes time. It takes time to feeling aligned with the meditation, and meditation is not right for everybody. There's other ways to clear your mind and clear your soul and clear your spirit. So for the Leo, it's definitely a time to pick up some new habits, positive habits, and clear away those habits that aren't serving you. For the Cancer, for 2023 and Capricorn season, especially for the introduction of Capricorn season, you guys know I do horoscopes every new sun sign. For the Cancer, this is a perfect time for you to make a commitment with relationships, also with business. If you've been looking about sharing a connection or sharing an alliance with somebody, this is actually a time you're going to want to start to set that rhythm. Also for the Cancer, I want you to stay true to yourself. I feel like there's been some people who have maybe kind of been getting you in your feelings, maybe having you feel a little bit overly emotional about who you are. Like, we can't change who we are, right? We can't change what makes us happy. We can't change what makes us sad. Who we are is who we are. And that's our interpersonal soul's message. That's our interpersonal style. We don't need anybody's approval. So if you're feeling like this energy is kind of like kind of opposing you, it's time to like say, this is who I am. You either love it or you hate it, but it's not changing. For the Gemini, it's actually a perfect time for you to look at areas of taking a few steps further in spaces such as intimacy with a partner, and also something that isn't so sexy, but finances. When we think about love and when we think about passion, another thing that really shows is wealth and money. Also for the Gemini, and I know for some Geminis this year, and we still have Mars, babe, I know we still got Mars in Gemini, and it could be making you feel a little aggressive. It could be making you feel a little bit too vocal. It could be making you feel a little bit too centered, where just shit's not feeling right. For the Gemini, I really want you to kind of look at that area of your property and your assets and look at how you can kind of balance it all out. If maybe you've been spending too much, or there's been something that hasn't really went in your benefit, you're going to kind of want to ease that up before we go into 2023. There's going to be some Geminis who are going to definitely be getting hit hard with the financial matters in 2023. I don't want you to be one of them. So definitely clear that out. Also, it's time to get a little bit sexy with it in the intimate relationships. So if you need to bring in another spark, babe, do it now while you got Mars with you. Definitely a good time to heat up that passion. And for the Gemini, this is in your 8th house. For the Taurus, this is a perfect time for you to actually get centered on some type of higher education, a spiritual knowledge base, soul based, or even just for fun, right? Like if you've been thinking about starting a new course, if you've been thinking about getting placed with maybe learning a new specialty. And it's so funny because I love my husband to death. I love that man. But sometimes he just, like, I'm like, do you not know who you are married to, dude? Like, sometimes the stuff he says, I'm just like, really? He's like, well, so like now are you like a full-time astrologer? It's like, no, dude, I still do the chakras. I still work with chakras. I do a lot of energy. It's all energy. Astrology's energy, astrological alignment's energy, the chakras are energy. Like, it's not, it's not being specialized in just one thing. When you're me, I consider myself an alchemist. So when you're an alchemist, babe, it expands, right? So for the Taurus, this is a great time for you to also look at cross-culture areas of knowledge. Like, pick up something that you usually wouldn't be dipping in, right? Like, maybe buy something that you've been thinking about, if it's a course or if it's a book. Buy something that's been intriguing you, but you just haven't done it, right? You just haven't done it. For 2023, you got to do it. You got to do it. Also, set up some travel plans. For the Aries, this is a beautiful time. Oh gosh, I don't even want to get, like, Aries and Taurus, in all honesty, this is a good year for you. In 2023, if there's any Aries in the house, there was an Aries in the house. She actually popped out. We have a Capricorn. Ashley's a Capricorn. But for Aries, like, this year for Aries is going to be amazing. You got Jupiter half of the year with you, and then Jupiter's going to jump over to Taurus, right? So that lucky energy, that career shift right now for you in 2023 for Capricorn season, if you've been thinking about the long-term goals as an Aries, put those in motion. Put those in motion right now as you have Jupiter with you. Do it. Get on that set. And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people say during Capricorn season, it's a good time to think of what you want to do. You don't necessarily need to do it all, right? Because that's how Capricorns sometimes get burnt out, is they do it all. They have such that strong work ethic of completing all the goals, completing all the achievements, that somehow it gets a little bumpy and they say, hey, I need to back off a little bit. But what this is a good time for you to do is have an overall insight of what it is for 2023. You kind of want to start, if you want to say that word New Year's resolution or intention of the year, start to put it in place, start to kind of get that energy, right? Also for the Aries, this is a beautiful time for you to actually pick up that area of reputation. You're going to want to have that area where people know they can come to you for certain things. You're the one they come to for whatever it is that you want to be about. And for the Aries, this is a beautiful, beautiful time for you to own it. And it's like, I keep trying to drill this into my daughter. I got my daughter's at Aries. And it's funny because me and her are similar in the birth charts, but very different. And I'm like trying to tell her, babe, you got to do this. You got to create these steps right now, because you got Jupiter with you, and this is when you want to do it. Hopefully she listens to her mom, but who knows? Okay, so and then also for the Pisces, this is a beautiful time for you to work on your collective. For the Pisces, if you have a community, if you're looking at creating a community, maybe some new friendships, you got to get out the house. I feel like Pisces it's funny because I have a few friends who are Pisces, and I see they got some new shit going on. They got like some new love. They got some new social aspects kind of coming around. And this is the time you're really going to want to enjoy it for the Pisces. You want to get in those groups. You're going to want to create that awareness where people are like, hey, this is where I am. This is who I'm with. And if you're looking for love for the Pisces, I'm going to say you might want to hit up some of those websites, like some of those, dating websites. Like, don't be totally like fearful of them. Sometimes they create good connections. You never know. It's surprising, right? So get out there, get out there a little bit more for the Pisces. Get with some friends, do some double dates. Also, if you're centered around business, then, have somebody kind of get you in this area where you get familiar with that business or you get familiar with that area. And a lot of good luck for the Pisces, for the next year as well. But Aries, Taurus, and Scorpio, it's a dynamic for 2023. For the Aquarius, this is actually a time that I want you to let go of some of those limiting self-beliefs. For the Aquarius, it's been a tricky year. The 2.5 years for Aquariuses and some of the fixed signs, it's been a little tricky. We've had Saturn in Aquarius, that area of restriction really feeling, tight. Maybe that area of grief, the area of the shadow just kept coming up. And for the Aquarius, this is a time that you understand that your subconscious and your conscious state really kind of let it unflow. Let it have this like beautiful flow where we can't prevent shit from happening. And that's what I hate about some of the astrologers that are so fear-based, right? Because currently speaking, there's a lot of shit we can't prevent, right? We just got to learn how to work with it. We just got to learn how to work with that area where it feels like times are getting harder, because they are. Times are getting more restrictive, because they are. And it's going to be like this. It's possibly going to ease up a little bit as Saturn transitions over to Pisces, but it might get a little bit different on a different type of level, right? We're going to see this area of price increase for a while. It's probably going to hit us for a while. Saturn's going to continue to have that aspect about him. And, speaking with the Capricorns too, where it's tight. It's not as easy as maybe it used to feel, right? And that's a part of life. There's shit we can do to help it, and there's shit we can't do to help it, right? So, like I told many people, if it helps to have like your own tomatoes in your backyard, grow some of your own zucchini, if you got room for it, get it where you can, instead of having to worry and go downstairs or go outside and like go to the store and pick up like a tomato. You could just go to your backyard and grab, or go to your kitchen if you can plant in your house. But try to find ways where you can, cut costs, because it is going to continue to rise. I've been telling people this since, I don't know, freaking for a while. So it's going to continue. But for the Aquarius, I want you to let go of that area where you feel so like you can't accomplish, because I think that's kind of how the Aquarius has been feeling, especially with Saturn, that you can't accomplish. It's going to be a game changer for a lot of Aquarius placements in 2023 as Pluto hits. And let that area go. Do a lot of self-releasing, because in a month, it's going to be your solar return. You're going to have a lot of energy. You're going to have a full shift, especially come March and spring. So it's time for you to let go of that fear, let go of that old karma, release that shit, let it go. Let it go. You can't change it. You can't fix the past. The past is the past. Release it, babe, and move forward. So I want to thank everybody who stepped in the room. And I just want to go over, because I think this will be totally fun. Okay, so I know Ashley is a Capricorn. Hey, if you didn't hear the Capricorn reading, definitely listen to the replay. But I would love to know what everybody else is, but let's talk about these famous Capricorns. And I'm going to do a little prediction. I'm not going to be surprised if a Capricorn makes the news. And everybody, and if you are listening and you see a Capricorn hitting the news or hitting the gossip channels, go ahead, send me the DM so I can see it too, because I love to share it. Everybody sends it, and then you know what that means. I got to read the birth chart, right? But let's talk about some of these famous Capricorns and how successful they are. Capricorns are so fucking fierce. Like, in all honesty, when it comes to a Capricorn, that's one zodiac you don't want to cross. That's one zodiac sign you don't want to get in their way. You just kind of like roll with the flow, let them do their thing, let them achieve their goals. The Capricorn's biggest competition is themselves. I mean, not many zodiacs can compete with a Capricorn. Capricorns are the CEOs. They're the boss. They are that area of success and achieving. And once a Capricorn really understands their own energy, really understands their own energy alignment, you can't stop them. You just got to get out their way, right? So let's talk about some of these Capricorns. So we have Jordan Sparks. She's an amazing Capricorn. Man, that girl can sing. Finn, what's his name? Finn Wolfhard, one of the actors from Stranger Things. Like, Stranger Things is such an amazing Netflix series that so many people love the actors on Stranger Things. And just to have the opportunity to be on such a series that is going to be probably known for decades. And I'll be honest, I got some Stranger Things memorabilia. I love sci-fi. I love the spooky. I love the cross-dimensional type series. They did get beat by Wednesday Addams, though, I will say, did beat them. But, I still love Stranger Things. Lee Daniels, only African-American to solely produce an Oscar-winning film. What? Now, Jared Leto, is that how you say his name? Jared Leto? He's a Capricorn. Haley Williams, who I believe she's a singer. If anybody knows which band she's in, I'm not really sure, but I know my sister has listened to her because I hear my Virgo sister is all into that type of music. Kate Middleton, right? Is that her name? Kate, the one who's married to not Prince Harry, Prince William, who's going to be a king. She's a Capricorn. So Babe had her eye on the prize. She said, I'm going to give me a king. She said, I'm going to give me a king. Bradley Cooper. That's another Capricorn. He is hottie. Give it up for Bradley Cooper. He is super cute. Another amazing Capricorn, John Legend. And Capricorns tend to get, I've been noticing this a lot. Capricorns and Sagittariuses tend to have good relationships. So I know a lot of people say that Capricorns do really well with other earth elements. And it's funny because my son, I have a 21-year-old son, he's a Sag, and his girlfriend is a Capricorn. And he told me, he goes, Mom, because she's starting to get into astrology and stuff, right? And I mean, look who his mom is, right? So of course, she's like, boy, I need that birth chart. So of course she's reading his birth chart and stuff, and she's kind of dipping into astrology. He's like, Mom, she says we're not that compatible, and I'm like, you guys will be fine. Don't worry, you guys will be fine. Capricorns actually get along very well with Sagittariuses. Very well with Sagittarius. John Legend's a Capricorn. His wife, whatever you think about her is what you think about her, but she's a Sag. Gayle King, she's a Capricorn, and her bestie, Oprah, is a Sag. We have Denzel Washington. No, that's one hot Capricorn. Tyrese, another hottie. LeBron is actually a stellium Capricorn. And when we think about LeBron, talk about a leader, talk about having that energy of not only being an NBA basketball player, but being one of the best. And I know there's that controversy, right? LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, right? Who are you going to pick? Well, you already know I'm from California, babe. I'm picking Kobe. But, who are you going to pick? But LeBron, Capricorn, stellium, Sun, Jupiter, Uranus, all in Capricorn. Talk about an amazing dynamic. And I'm going to ask you guys, who is the Queen Capricorn? If we had to give one Capricorn being the Queen Capricorn, who would it be? Okay. This is kind of like a trivia question. When you think about somebody who came from nothing, barely little, and is a woman, came from nothing, poor, very poor, and became a legacy for decades. Who would you think? I'm waiting. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton to me resembles Capricorn. When I think of a Capricorn, and I think of somebody who came from not much and worked their way up to becoming an icon, and with not much scandal, right? she didn't have much scandal behind her. She very proud where she came from, hard worker, very successful, and created a legacy in a male dominant genre of country music. Singer, songwriter, all of the above. I mean, the songs that she has written, when I was like, I knew she had to be a Capricorn. Like, nobody says Capricorn like Dolly. Dolly Parton, Queen Capricorn. Love it, love it. So I want to thank everybody who listened to this replay or listened to this room. And I just want to thank you guys for jumping in. And I hope everybody has an amazing Capricorn season. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Everybody have a great holiday weekend. If I, don't see you guys, I will be doing some more rooms on astrology for January and also on the crown chakra. Give the podcast a follow, Chakras and Cuss Words, a like, comment, and review, and everybody have an amazing day. Bye!